When Danny Ainge, last time he hired a coach,
They beat the Grizzlies 2 consecutive games.
what happened that same year? What did he do when he hired this young coach who'd never coached the NBA before?
A 23-point win.
Why? What's going on in Utah?
Maybe position themselves for the lottery. How about position themselves for the playoffs? They're 8-3.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
I'm not gonna lie, I folded on this take. It might be one of my worst ones ever, but man, we need to talk about the Utah Jazz and how they have come out hot to start the season. Now before you click off the video and say I'm forcing or boosting this team so early, you have to pay attention to how well offensively and defensively this team has looked from the very jump of the season. That has many analysts and experts biting their tongues on what they said about this team before the preseason even began. From just looking at this roster, names like Mike Conley or Kelly Olynyk may not excite you, which is fair, but the entire team is full of experienced, skilled role players that do their jobs to the absolute T. Utah looks like a well-oiled machine with their capable scorers, long-bodied defensive wings with size, and an impressive first-year coach in Will Hardy that makes everything fit seamlessly. A credit has to be made to their head coach Will Hardy, especially with the new faces added to Utah this offseason. Hardy has found a way to create a competent offense that feeds off the strength of the guys he has in the locker room. Mike Conley is averaging the most assists in his 16-year career while being the floor general for the entire Jazz offense. In addition, the same can be said about Jordan Clarkson, who's averaging his second highest points per game at 17 points while contributing 5.3 assists per game, which is double his career average in the NBA. The ball doesn't stick in the backcourt, and movement and motion is key to what the Jazz do to create mismatches and quality looks for their offense. The Jazz are currently one of the better offensive teams in the Western Conference as well, and the numbers highlight that statement. They get the ball to the open guy and are the best three-point shooting team, and in 2022, that means the world for your offense. On this play, you can see Mike Conley's bringing the ball up after an inbound, and he easily beats Austin Reeves off the dribble. And you can see Walker Kessler's in the corner, and as a big man, he understands that he needs to dive hard to the basket, and that gets the attention of Russell Westbrook, who's supposed to be on Kelly Olynyk, but with him seeing a free man entering the paint, he has to somehow stop that. Conley's a smart point guard, and he understands that with the defense now penetrated in the middle, he can now kick that ball out to Kelly Olynyk, and a lot of credit goes to Kelly Olynyk for relocating to the three-point line where Conley sees it, which leads to 3 points. 2 veteran guys in the NBA who understand how to capitalize off the defense mistake. On a fast break, you can see that Lauri Markkanen is bringing the ball up in transition, and you can see he has the IQ to skip past the ball all the way to Malik Beasley, which messes up the entire defense, making them have to adjust to now that the ball's on the other side of the court. Malik Beasley now penetrates the defense, and while doing all of this, again, Mike Conley relocates to the three-point line as the defense is confused, and Malik Beasley sees him in the corner, which leads to open threes for the Utah Jazz. And they're the best three-point shooting team in the league because of plays like this. It looks simple, but experience plays a huge factor in the NBA, and I think that with the Utah Jazz, having guys who have been around the league due to having different roles or have been on different rosters with different schemes, guys understand where they're supposed to be at certain times, and I think that this is just a play that highlights that. When you take a deeper look at the numbers, the Jazz are again showing they're not frauds. They're top 10 in offensive rating and defensive rating, 7th in net rating, 4th in points off of turnovers, and 6th in second chance points in the league. A big piece of their offense is the emergence of Lauri Markkanen, who was traded in the offseason to Utah from Cleveland. As a primary option, he's notching career highs in almost every statistical category while flowing within the Jazz offense, headlined by Will Hardy. Playing alongside willing passers like Clarkson, Conley, and Kelly Olynyk, Lauri is flourishing as a center and off of screens to disrupt the defense and get him good looks at the basket. Lauri isn't the best offensive player in the league, but there's a level of deception that you can use in the Utah Jazz offense that gets him some easy looks. On this play, VAnderbilt hands off the ball to Mike Conley. You can see that Lauri Markkanen is getting ready to set a back screen to free up Kelly Olynyk. Instead of setting that back screen, he dives hard to the basket, throwing off the Lakers offense and LeBron James, and gets an easy bucket, and you got to finish with 2 hands for safety. You can see here that he can body these little defenders, and with his wingspan and height, he's able to finish in the post close to the basket. And if the defense sends help, you have a team that can shoot the 3 ball, and with guys around the perimeter, it's going to open up the entire offense, and if you don't send help, Lauri Markkanen has a skill set to finish those easy buckets over small defenders. The ball doesn't stick with the Utah Jazz. There's constant motion within their offense. You can see Mike Conley is coming off a handoff, and VAnderbilt sets a good screen to free up Rudy Gay at the top of the key. And once Gay gets this ball, VAnderbilt has the IQ to dive hard to the basket, allowing Rudy Gay to throw that lob pass to him, and it puts a lot of stress on the back line of the Houston Rockets defense by Jabari Smith and Kenyon Martin Jr. all in the corner. Once they collapse, you have 2 guys open from 3, and like I just said previously, these are situations why the Utah Jazz lead the league in 3-pointers made in the NBA. The Jazz also have a reliable bench that allows them to run different lineups on offense and on defense to capitalize off a team's weaknesses. They could go ultra big and have a lineup that utilizes their size and defensive prowess, or they could play small and play a quicker pace of basketball if the game needs them to. It's early, so a lot of lineups are still being adjusted for Utah, but the versatility is certainly there if they need to utilize it. I like the combination of bench players of Malik Beasley, who's knocking down 2 threes a game on nearly 40% from deep, rookie Walker Kessler, who provides fairly good backup minutes and is improving as a rim protector, and of course, Colin Sexton, who's having a down year in his point totals, but is making an improvement in his efficiency, adding in 13 points per game on 60% true shooting. Colin is filling in his role as a sixth man for this Utah Jazz team. VAnderbilt is another player I've enjoyed watching due to his defensive ability on the wing and in the paint, disrupting offenses. And lastly, I just want to highlight that the Utah Jazz offense doesn't have to predicate on one person holding the ball. They have different types of looks that can be utilized on the offensive court. VAnderbilt gets the ball basically near the high post at the three-point line. Clarkson and Beasley are going to run some type of action to come off a screen. Instead, Beasley just dives straight to the basket with 2 other guys in the corner, which frees up the entire paint and leads to an open bucket for Beasley and the Utah Jazz. The Jazz defense is second in three-pointers made, second in assists per game, and fourth in turnovers in the NBA. The defense is legit, and I think with more reps, they'll get much more sound. They do give up a lot of rebounds to many opposing front courts, but besides that, they are a very good defensive unit. By trading their entire core, including All-Stars Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert last year, the Jazz have 15 first-round picks over the next 7 years and are more than ready for a rebuild in Utah. But this current roster might have something to say about that this year. Again, it's early, but this Utah Jazz team isn't a poorly constructed roster like many people previously believed to be, myself included. And I think unless general manager Danny Ainge forcibly starts trading guys to start tanking, we will see the Utah Jazz to continue surprising folks this season. I love the experience by many of the players who have been around the league and have a full grasp of NBA offenses and have a different set of skill sets for the Utah Jazz. Could you imagine what this team would look like if it had a top 15 players surrounded by all these solid rotational pieces? Let me chill. But give credit to the Utah Jazz for performing well to start the season and highlighting that the NBA is full of talented guys and anyone can pull off a win on any night. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and be sure to subscribe to the channel as well. Turn that post notification bell on so you never miss a video, and until next time, stay on beat.